Hello, friends. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Fort Worth Roots. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by cleanandclearlawnandlandscaping.net. For anything you got going on outside, these guys are your DFW solution. French drains, sod, new fence, flower beds, commercial landscaping, they've got it. Cleanandclearlawnandlandscaping.net. This episode of the podcast also brought to you by shopgwdistrict.com. If that website's too hard to remember, go to your app store, pull up GW District, and they have an app now, right there, GW District. This is a marketplace for black-owned businesses to get their merchandise out to you. You're going to want to see this. Remember that, shopgwdistrict.com, or go to their app. My guest today is the owner of Sweetie's Cheesecakes. You can find them at shops all over the place. We're going to get into that during the podcast. They also can be found online. I got to try out a sample of their newest product with hibiscus in it. And I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's amazing. So this episode, our guest goes into great detail about how he got started, what his family's role in all this is, and what you can expect whenever you order some of their product, which you're going to want to do after this podcast, I promise. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the amazingly talented Michael Vespa. Thank you all for being here. Let's start the show. Pretty tight-knit with the music community because Lindsay Hightower is the one that introduced you to me.
That's true. You know what? We started following each other. I think we were at an event together. If I remember correctly, it might have been in Farmers Branch. She was doing a concert while we were doing a farmer's market over there. And I think that was the day it started pouring rain. You know, so it was thundering and we had to get out of there really quick. So we really, I don't think we ever really got a chance to see her play.
Yeah.
During the COVID thing, I've been following her. She's been doing these acoustic jams, online on Facebook. So, yeah. So that's how I wound up following her.
Yeah.
So then I saw that note about your business, and it looks interesting. You know,
yeah.
It looks like it's getting started. And,
well, that's what it's all about, making these little connections.
We're here in Fort Worth, and we're doing our thing. So yeah.
So now, tell me a little bit about Sweeties. I already told you that I've got a problem with cheesecake. It's a real issue.
You'll have a bigger problem once you try our cheesecake, I think.
It's not comforting.
Well, anyway, so I had been making for about over 30 years of my life a 10-inch cheesecake that was always just Michael's cheesecake. It sort of started off as a recipe that my mom gave to me because she made me a cheesecake and I loved it. And then I would ask her every weekend to make me another cheesecake. And she said, Michael, I can't make one for you every week. So here, take this recipe and see what you can do with it. So that transformed into what we now call signature. But, you know, I've been making it since I was 13, I think. I even sold one when I was 16. And when I met my wife in like 94, 95, I had made one for Christmas or something. And she said, it's beautiful and everything, but I hate to tell you this, but I don't like cheesecake.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm like, well, that's okay. She's like, I hope you're not going to be offended if I don't try it. I said, well, I know I won't be offended.
I would have been.
It's okay. You know,
it's like your love cheesecake.
Well, you know, teach their own, you know. So anyway, she said, okay, well, I'll just try a little bit. So she tried, and she said, this is good. I don't like cheesecake. This is not cheesecake. I said, yeah, this is cheesecake. I said, you just don't like bad cheesecake.
Yeah.
So anyway, that you know, she's always been my biggest fan, and we're partners together in this business. But she always tried to convince me to do this business, and I just couldn't figure out a good way to bring these 10-inch cakes to market without having, you know, some equipment, our own store, freezing equipment, and you know, basically a retail bakery. So,
and that's what brings us to where we're recording today.
Yeah, true. We're mobile.
Because you don't actually have a brick and mortar location.
That is true. Yeah, we still don't. We just so we decided. I said, look, I don't know how to bring this to market as a 10-inch cake, but let me try to see if we can shrink it down a little bit to like something shareable.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing that for a while and trying to get that just right.
And how big was that?
So I was trying to do like 3-inch cheesecakes with a regular cheesecake pan.
So kind of like a single serving type thing?
Single serving, or it would be a big single serving or a double serving, Well, I couldn't find a good right packaging for it until I came up with using the jar. Now, the jar is not anything new by any means,
right,
but it just worked perfectly for our product.
Do you have one
brought it
today?
Oh, of course.
He's got a big cooler here. I figured he had one.
So here's chocolate, for instance.
If you're watching the YouTube video, he's got one here for us. Can I?
Of course.
It's a 5.5 ounce, like a little stubby masonry jar. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, mason jar.
Yeah.
It's an 8-ounce mason jar in volume, of course, but the net weight of these are anywhere from about 4.5 to about 6, a little less than 6 ounces, depending on what flavor we have and what the ingredients are. And some are a little heavier because they have fruit inclusions.
So in your video, did it say that y'all do 2 flavors year round, and then you do seasonal flavors?
We have 4 core flavors now. We started off with plain signature, which is the one that I've been making, from my childhood. It has just a little hint of lemon and orange zest and a sweet sour cream topping. Mm-hmm. Then we do this chocolate, and this has a chocolate ganache topping, Belgian cocoa powder in the batter and the crust. So it's a graham cracker crust, but it has, that Belgian cocoa powder in there to get you a chocolate crust.
That's got to be your best seller.
I always thought that chocolate would be the best seller once I released it, and it's certainly not. There are actually a lot of people that just don't like chocolate. I never thought those people existed. But
so what is the big seller?
So Signature is our, that's the one that got us started, and that is still our best seller.
And what all's in that?
So that one's the one we start off with our plain batter, which is a nice traditional vanilla. And we add just a tiny hint of lemon and orange zest, and then the sweet sour cream topping on there. So it's like a plain cheesecake, but just with a little extra surprise at the end. It kind of brightens up the flavor a little bit at the end, and it's nice and creamy. All of our cheesecakes are on the creamy side.
You're driving some people nuts right now. They're in their cars looking for exits. What stores can they stop at to find this stuff?
Well, there are quite a few. Right here in Fort Worth, we have one of our first wholesale accounts was Summer Moon Coffee. They're out of Austin. Okay. Greg Richardson bought the rights to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and since we got started, he now has 4 operating locations in the DFW area. So there are 2 in Fort Worth. One is on West 7th. The other one's on Main Street. On the south side?
I'm sorry to interrupt. West 7th and what?
West 7th and, I don't know what this, I think it's Matisse is the side street.
Is it that main drag right there, the West 7th area by Montgomery Plaza and all that?
It's almost across the street from Montgomery Plaza, so it's behind the Chewy's over there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what's the name of that place?
Summer Moon Coffee, wood-fired coffee.
I don't know how I've missed that. I used to live right down there.
Oh, so they just opened up in April.
Oh, well, that would do it.
But the other one has been open for a couple of years now, and that's on Main. Yeah. And that's on the south side of Maine, near Pennsylvania.
And they keep your product stocked.
They do. They do it at all their locations. We have a location in Keller. They were the first ones to carry us, and there's a location in Frisco.
Cool.
So that's one good place to get them. And now we have a good relationship with the Meat Board. That's a butcher shop. It's a gourmet butcher shop on Camp Bowie. And our product just goes perfectly with all the meats and high-end meats and other items that they sell. Or their clientele comes in and they're looking for something for the weekend to make. Yeah. They buy their steaks and and whatever they need. And then, they pick up a dessert.
When did y'all get the wheels off the ground with your business? How long has this been going on?
So we started in 2017.
Wow,
and
that's very recently.
It was probably that summer that I really started taking seriously trying to get this product going. So what happened before that, I was working for a market research company and I got let go.
Okay.
And I had to have that talk with my wife. And she said, I thought you were going to say that. The kids and I have been praying for weeks now that you would lose your job.
Holy shit.
What? Yeah. So, some people, some people pray for prosperity and health and everything. My beautiful wife was praying for me to lose my job.
Did you have any idea that this was going on?
No, not until she said it. But then she also said in the same breath, so now you can start the business.
Yeah.
And at the time, you just lose your job. And now you're thinking, where's the next dollar going to come from?
You're looking for the next rope. Yeah. Stability.
So I was like, Shannon, I don't think this is a good time for us to start a business. Let me try to find another job.
Yeah.
Even if it's something, it's not full time.
Right.
And I stumbled around for quite a while, and I had all these doors getting closed on me, and I just could not find a job. So a year went by, and, we had a heart-to-heart talk, Shannon and I, and she said, I don't know what you're searching for. This is your God-given talent. This is what you should be doing.
That is incredible.
So she was very supportive of that. I said, okay, I'll tell you what. Let me seriously consider what needs to be done to bring this product to market.
Right.
I'll seriously start working on it. Let me see what I can come up with.
So this is you putting together a solid business plan.
Yes. And we went down the line, and we just, I finally got into a kitchen, did some test batches, and had this product that you see here. We brought plain and signature to the market right away. And then we were like, well, how are we going to sell this,
Right.
So I looked at it like, let's just, let's test the market. Let's find somewhere we can sell it, some way we can sell it and see what other people think about it, even if we have to just sample it. Let's see what other people think about it. Because, your parents, your friends, your family, they tell you they love your
Mike,
product.
it's great. Yeah.
But is it going to translate? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
who was the first person that you pitched this to, or the first business?
Well, what we did was we talked to the Grapevine Farmers Market. And we were too late for their summer market. So, but they had told us at the time that they start a market right after Thanksgiving. They do a winter market.
Okay.
So it would be Thanksgiving till the day before Christmas, mostly on the weekends, and then the week before Christmas every day. And they said, you're welcome to come out. So we got some things together. I got a table together, a refrigerator,
That seems like a great opportunity to interact with the public and probably other businesses. And
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of what you ran into?
Well, yeah, because we were hoping that not only that area is frequented by the locals, because of all the Christmas stuff that's going on in Grapevine during that season. The train comes in from Fort Worth. It brings tourists. It brings families out. Right. We were set up in this area behind the gazebo that has all the lights. So it's an attraction for people. And, that's really where we started getting our first feedback about the cheesecake.
Yeah.
And I don't remember any negative feedback.
That was my next question.
So
I can't imagine. Yeah,
it was great, So we were like, okay,
what are you
I think
selling
we
them
have
for
something here.
at that point? Are you
We were
charging
selling them for we were selling them for we were selling them for $7.99, and only it was only into the next year when we raised our price to what they are now, and we started selling them $8.99, and then we just decided not to deal with that penny. And, so they've been $9 ever since.
Yeah.
So it's $9 for any flavor. And
Okay.
and that was the first, that was the first real market, first, retail experience that we had with our cheesecake. And then from there, we released pumpkin. So that was, we knew, we started this right after Thanksgiving, so I made a pumpkin.
Naturally.
And then into the new year, chocolate. And then we just kept introducing flavors. So not only do we have our 4 seasonal flavors that we do, they change throughout the seasons. We add, in the spring, we'll do our strawberry and wild blueberry. Then, toward the end of the spring into the summer, we do our whiskey peach cheesecake. We do mango coconut, lavender. And, into the fall, pumpkin, spiked eggnog. Spiked with a little bit of Jack Daniels.
Oh, man. Okay. So
yeah.
if you have that and you're eating it on the freeway while you're stuck in traffic, is that an open container?
Well, I think you can try to explain that one away, I think.
The alcohol bakes out, though, right? I mean,
For the most
you
part.
get the flavor, but not really the effect of the alcohol.
That's what we do with it.
Yeah.
We love to impart some of the flavors without it being boozy. Now, we do have an amaretto cheesecake that, you will taste the amaretto in there, but it's quite nice.
Yeah.
And what other ones?
That's awesome.
Peppermint in the winter, and and then a couple years ago, because as we talked about Summer Moon, since they were one of the first businesses to carry our product, we decided when we were going to do some coffee flavor that we would use their coffee.
Oh, nice.
So we use their Velvet Blaze coffee in our cappuccino that we make in the fall. So that'll be coming back in a couple months.
Pretty popular.
Oh yeah, very popular. Yeah.
That's cool. So where does the wife fit into this? Is she part of the cooking team? Is she a chef, or does she just tell you what to do and when to do it and how high to jump?
That's mostly true, yeah. But as far as the cooking is concerned, we get her in the kitchen from time to time to help. But mostly it's me and my 2 children. So I have a 16-year-old, Michael, and a 15-year-old, Sophia. And they help me every week in the kitchen. We go in there as a team. We cook about 10 or 12 hours, and they are the greatest,
Y'all do this weekly?
Weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good family time.
It is, considering they're in their rooms most of the time otherwise. And then my wife, then she does the other 80% of the business. So really what she likes to do is she maintains the wholesale communications, and she delivers a lot of the products out to the wholesale companies and places, and she does the books, and
okay, so you're getting to just have all the fun,
and
she's doing the work.
Well, she gets, like I said, we both get involved in just about all aspects of the business. Now, of course, there are certain things that I am primarily the creative part of the family here, so I do develop all the new recipes, and sometimes I get input.
She wouldn't fight you for that title.
No. No, I don't think she really wants anything to do with that part of it.
Yeah.
But it certainly is a family affair. Any one of them, Shannon, Michael, Sophia, even my little one, Kaz, they try all the new flavors, and they will tell me if something is wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, basically for a new business, you've just gotten started, but the package that I see from the outside, the website, the video, the labeling, you've got uniforms, y'all present yourselves very well.
Thank
you. Wherever you're at as far as success, however you gauge that, from an outsider's point of view, it looks like y'all are doing great, and it sounds like you've got your priorities are straight. You got the family working together and spending time together, and that's just great, man. That's awesome.
Thank you. And our children have been primarily homeschooled, so this is, you can kind of consider this part of their homeschool training too. Yeah. They are truly learning to run a business. My daughter will help me with some social media stuff.
That's important.
You know, my son has seen some of the, you know, the ordering process, and, you know, they both run around with me to pick up ingredients. So they know their way around the restaurant supply store, and they know about all types of cooking equipment, you know. So, I mean, truly, if they needed a job in a restaurant or something, they could probably slip right in there easily.
Understand the logistics of it and all that. That's awesome. Now, y'all are not, I feel like I read this, I'm probably wrong, but y'all are not originally from Fort Worth, are you?
Well, my wife is primarily from Texas. She was born in Jacksonville, but grew up in Carrollton. And I was born in New Jersey and lived there for, you know, good half of my life anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm from Jersey, and we met in New Jersey. She was living with her parents at the time in New Jersey, and we met at a restaurant out there. And, you know, it's sort of a typical story. She was the waitress, I was the cook, and, you know, I said to some of the guys in the kitchen, I was like, "Who is that?" And they said, "That's Shannon." I said, "Well, I'm going to marry that girl."
Okay, but don't tell her you like cheesecake.
and sure enough, we wound up getting married. But, you know, It was a long time coming. You know, so we've been together for, you know, since about 94, been married since 2001.
Drug you all the way to Texas.
Yeah. So people ask me, why'd you move to Texas? I say, for a woman.
Not a woman, the woman.
The woman. That is true. So yeah, that's my history from being in New Jersey, and you know, I have parents that my father is an off the boat Italian.
Okay.
My mom, who passed a couple of years ago, she was Polish.
Okay.
You know, her family was all Polish. My father's family all Italian. And,
so that makes you second generation American then?
Yeah, I guess
right?
so. Yeah. So. You know, growing up, it was like raviolis one day and then pierogi the next day, you know. And my parents, you know, they both cooked. My grandmother lived with us as well, and my grandfather for a good period of time. And there was always somebody cooking in the house, you know. We went out to dinner to celebrate things, but you know, most of the time we were at home, and it was a home-cooked meal. My mom and my grandmother were both bakers, so I used to help them in the kitchen growing up. So that part of it is in me, you know. Yeah. I think that's in me. And then, you know, cooking has always been a love of my life. I cooked for about 10 years of my life, from age 16 to about 26 or so. Yeah. So, you know, that was all, you know, I worked every aspect of the restaurant business. And then my best friend that I met wound up going to school to become a chef, and then I would help him with wherever he was working. I would fill in for him every once in a while, part-time. And
he's still a chef?
Oh, yeah. He's still a chef back in Jersey.
Everybody's living their dream.
Well, we're trying, yeah.
Now, do you still have family up in Jersey?
I do. My father is still in New Jersey, and then my sister, Mary Beth, and her husband, Greg, are living in Jersey as well.
Do you get out that way very often?
We try to. You know, I haven't been out there since we started the business. I haven't really been out there for a good extended time. Yeah. When I was working previously at a business that allowed me to work at home or from home, they also allowed me to travel to New Jersey, so I would go there for a month, and I would just work from New Jersey. And, you know, the rest of my family could go to the beach and enjoy whatever was going on, you know.
Staying away from that Texas heat.
Yeah. And, you know, so those were always nice vacations for us, because it was just, you know, we could just pick up and go. And I would legitimately take a week off of that month, you know, just so that I can have a little fun too. But nights were free, of course. And,
I haven't made it up that far yet. I've been all over the West Coast. Farthest north I've been up the East Coast is Virginia. Oh. The beaches on that side of the country, the one I saw, Virginia Beach, was beautiful.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I don't remember which podcast episode this was, but we were talking about Texas beaches, and somebody said something about taking their parents down to one of the beaches here in Texas. I was like, oh my God, why would you do that? And, growing up as a kid, I didn't know any better. But once I saw Virginia Beach with my own eyes, I was just like, Texas doesn't have beaches.
Well, that's something I haven't seen yet. I haven't been to like Galveston or anything like that to the beaches. But.
I mean, really, the only thing I have to compare it to is Corpus Christi and Port Aransas. Port Aransas doesn't have any beaches. It's all rocks and water. And then Corpus, it's not worth stopping.
So we do have the lakes out here in Texas.
Oh, man. Have you been out to Possum Kingdom?
I have, yes.
It's my favorite lake.
I haven't been on the lake, but I've had to go there for various reasons. And it is beautiful out there.
My favorite lake around here is Eagle Mountain. Uh-huh. It's in a good location, big lake, and there's I think right now there's 2 legitimate restaurants on that lake, and they're both pretty good.
Oh, cool.
There was another one, but it burned down.
Well, let's hope
we were actually on the water when that happened. It was a floating restaurant. And I guess they were doing something like working on the gas lines. So the story goes, this is an old building, and they just couldn't keep a business in it. So there was a rumor of an investigation, but, man, that thing lit and burnt. I mean, I'd say to the ground, but it was floating. So I don't know. There was nothing left.
It was truly out like on a barge. It was
it's on these giant foam supports, and when it burnt, there was just nothing left because those foam supports are flammable, I guess.
Yeah.
So everything was gone.
Oh,
all of it. There was a little bit of frame, but that all sunk. So it was just like gone.
Gone, man.
Yeah, that was a rough summer because I want to say 2 or 3 months later, the marina, all the slips broke loose. I guess they were kind of in some way anchored to that restaurant. And so the next storm that came through blew those slips apart. It was an absolute disaster. But other than that, it's a really nice lake.
I bet. Just can't eat there anymore. That's all.
Well, there's a restaurant that closed down, and it was closed for a couple of years, and just recently they opened it. Different owners, different name. I've been in there once. It was okay. I cannot remember the name of it. And then there's Augie's. Augie's has been there forever. It's the one that just won't die. These restaurants come and go all over the lake, but that one's been there, as far as I know, forever.
Cool.
So, anyway.
Well, I like that area. I mean, we always look for, I always look for events out there on that lake.
Oh, yeah, there's always something
we can participate in. So this year, no, but,
Are you talking specifically Eagle Mountain or
the Possum Kingdom?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because I know they had the Red Bull diving.
Right.
Over
Hell's
there
Gates,
1 year.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and then do they still have the toadies out there every year?
That's a good question.
They used to do that. They used to have the toadies out every year.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's about it. My Texas Lake knowledge. All the other ones I've been to are just, one of them's dried up completely, and then my hometown of Abilene, we've got Fort Phantom, and when I was a kid, I used to think that was like a pretty nice lake, and now I know it's just not. Sorry, Abilene.
Sorry, I haven't seen it.
But damn. So, well, man, I got to tell you, I really appreciate you coming out. We got to give a shout out to the hotel. Where are we at?
We're at the Holiday Inn in Fort Worth.
Pretty sure that's right. We're on Lancaster, across from the Masonic Lodge. I almost turned the camera towards the window, but I was afraid there'd be too much light. But it's not a bad view. You got public storage and then some big skyscraper-type buildings behind it. Mm-hmm. Nice location. They... I just asked them if we could record here, and they were like, yeah, sure, no problem. So,
and you lucked out with a really nice room.
Yeah, it is really nice.
It has everything but room service.
So we were actually contemplating renting a room down here just so we'd have a meeting place. But we'll be looking into some of the businesses down here and see if they want to do some partnership where we borrow some space and give them some shout outs, and that might be fun to do, especially situations like this. You've got a stable business but haven't put any roots down on a location. When's that going to happen? Well,
we don't know. We're trying to we've been growing organically, and it's been great. So far, we still have plenty of room, plenty of capacity in the kitchen that we're in. Mm-hmm. Certain things are getting a little more inconvenient to do in a rental kitchen because we are moving a lot of product. So we're just going to look for the right opportunity.
Sure.
And when it makes sense financially to move into our own little building, then we'll do that. And the only other thing we might do is if we might offer that as a place to pick up product as well.
A little storefront.
But nothing like, not a coffee shop or anything like that.
Just go.
A window, pick up window, maybe even put the window on the outside.
Yeah.
And
COVID safe. So if this happens again, and it will, you're good.
Yeah, all good, Just put a pizza peel out the window. And,
just push it towards them. Yeah. Now, you mentioned something about online sales. Do you have a process for that? Can they get your product online?
Absolutely. We typically carry any of the products that we're currently manufacturing are available online as well, and even a couple others that are not typically sold in any of our wholesale arrangements or even by us at the markets. They can buy online. You can buy a 4-pack. We just push you into a 4-pack because of shipping and everything. It wouldn't make sense to just ship one.
Right.
So you can either purchase a 4-pack of all the same, or you can do a custom 4-pack where you can pick and choose what 4 you want in there. 2 of these, 2 of those, 1 of these, 3 of those, and then we ship it to you. Right now we're shipping to about 12 states. We're shipping mostly to anywhere we can go 2-day ground.
Wow.
And we're actively looking for a better solution to ensure 2-day shipping for the whole country.
It's probably really difficult right now.
It can be, it's a little tricky. So we're going to turn on 2-day air with FedEx, even though it's a little pricey. But we're also looking for a different packing solution that maybe we can get a little more transit time out of.
Talk to Omaha Steaks. Have you seen their packages?
I've never gotten anything by them.
My God, it comes in it's basically its own little igloo cooler. I mean, it's made out of styrofoam, but you feel bad throwing the damn thing away because it's so nice. I mean, it's thick, and anyway, it works. And they put freezer packs in it and stuff like that.
Well, it's good that you said that, because I would like to check them out and see how they're packaging, because we do the same thing. We have a styrofoam insert for our box. We use a barrier bag inside of that, and then we use a special technical ice in there.
Yeah.
As well.
So what's the shelf life on this if it's refrigerated and shipped correctly?
Yeah. So we freeze everything after we manufacture it. That way we ensure you're getting the freshest possible product when you buy it. So typically people buy it from us frozen. They take it home. And we tell everybody 2 weeks in the fridge. Mm-hmm. But it'll go a little further.
Sure.
We've never had it formally tested for its shelf life. But I've never heard of one going bad in the refrigerator.
Well, yeah. Nobody's buying it to look at it, right?
So,
although it is very nice, very attractive.
But we tell everybody, if you're close to home, you can take it home with you. You can put it in the freezer if okay, next week I'm going to have people over and I want to have them next week. You can put them in the freezer, and just take them out either the morning you're going to serve them or the night before, and just put them in the refrigerator, and then they'll be perfect when you're ready for them.
Well, you mentioned that there are some tests that haven't been conducted, so I'd like to volunteer my services. It's free of charge.
Yes.
Anytime you need something tasted or tested that eventually ends up with me eating it, I volunteer.
Well, I brought for you today one of our newest products.
It's
hibiscus. So you can be one of the very first people outside our inner circle,
okay,
the family and friends to try hibiscus.
So next time somebody asks me why I do podcasting, now you know.
Yeah, there are some perks I can see.
Well, Michael, thank you again, man. Shout out to Lindsay for setting this up. Thank you, Lindsay Hightower. And anytime you have another product, or when you get ready to open a store or anything, by all means, give us a call. Let's get you back up on the show.
Would love
Maybe
to.
Bring your wife next time.
I certainly will. Absolutely will.
All right. Thanks again, Michael.
Thank you, Andrew.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it.
All right. Bye, everybody. Tried to warn you. I told you to get Sweetie's cheesecakes before you listen to this episode because it was going to hurt. You want one now, don't you? Okay. Well, next time you know to listen to me. Hey, just because I knew that you were going to want this, I put the website where you can order Sweetie's cheesecakes in the show notes. Go there, click that, order some cheesecakes. Bam, it's at your door in no time. Also, I'm going to put the locations that he named off where you can just walk in and buy the stuff, because you want it now, don't you? I know you do. It's cheesecake. It's already on a good start. But this is not just any cheesecake. This is amazing cheesecake. Big thanks to Michael for coming on the show. Sir, we look forward to having you again because he's obviously going to bring more cheesecake. Guys, thank y'all for listening. Every time you listen to one of these shows, it shows up on the analytics. Whether it's a download or you just streamed it, it shows up, and that adds value to the show. Thank you. Also, I have this map, this interactive map that lights up in location. So wherever you are in the world, it shows up, and it says, hey, this person was here when they listened to your show. So whoever you are in Russia listening to Fort Worth Roots, I see you, and thank you, I think. Guys, there's a YouTube channel that you can go check out. It's got an associated video with every single one of these episodes. You can also leave comments here. It's a great place to leave comments. Don't feel like leaving comments? You'd rather leave a voicemail? Record yourself on your phone using the recorder that everybody has. Send me an MP3 file to media@fortworthroots.com. I'll incorporate it in the show. Thank you for being here. And I can't wait to see you folks next week. I'm going to stop talking now. See you guys. Bye.